Good morning, students. In chapter 4, before going through the Newton's second law, we have to understand what is momentum here. Momentum is a very important quantity for a body which has a mass and a velocity. And when we will understand what is momentum, then we will go through the Newton's second law. Now, what is a momentum? Actually, a body. This is a body having the mass m, and suppose it is moving with the velocity of we can say u or we can say v. So suppose the velocity of the moving body is v. The body which has a mass as well as velocity has momentum in it. It means momentum is the quantity of motion possessed by a body. A body which has a mass and possesses a velocity should has a momentum. So we can define the momentum like this: the quantity of motion possessed by a moving body is known as momentum of a body. Momentum of a body. Actually, the whole terms which we are using in chapters are really important. So you should clear all the points, all the definitions which we are using in the chapter. So if you have any problem, you can ask me on WhatsApp or your class group. So momentum is the moving body has a mass, should has a momentum, or this momentum is equal to the we can write here, momentum is directly proportional to the velocity and the mass. Momentum is, the one thing is clear, if the velocity of a body is 0, it means it should have the 0 momentum. Since the mass of the body cannot be 0, so we can say if the velocity of the body is moving body is not a moving body. So suppose the velocity of a body is 0, its momentum will be 0. So momentum is directly proportional to mass. First thing, the mass. More the mass, more will be the momentum. A body having a lower mass as compared to the other one, like these are the two bodies. This mass is m1 and the mass of this object is m2. Or suppose that m2 is greater than the m1. Suppose the mass of the m2 is greater than the m1. It means if they are moving with the same velocity, it means this body which has the greater mass should have the high momentum. So momentum is directly proportional to the mass, greater the momentum, and it is also directly proportional to the velocity. It means suppose two bodies of the same mass, the mass of this body is m and the mass of this body suppose is equal to m, but the velocity is v1 of this body and the v2 of this body, and suppose the velocity of this body is greater than this one, means the v2 is greater than v1, so we can say the momentum of this body will be greater than this body. So momentum is directly proportional to the mass as well as the velocity, or by combining these both terms we can say the momentum we represent the momentum by the symbol. You can write here, we represent there is no space, so I am writing here, we represent momentum by the symbol small p, and we have to put the arrow over it. You know what is the meaning of this arrow? This arrow means it is vector quantity. So momentum is a vector quantity. Since velocity is a vector quantity, so momentum is also a vector quantity. So momentum is equal to mass multiplied with the velocity. This is a momentum. So we can say the product of the mass and the velocity is called momentum. You can also write here the product of mass and velocity is called momentum. Okay, so this is all about the momentum. Now, I am already explained you that it is a vector quantity, so I am representing by using the symbol arrow over it. The SI unit, what should be the SI unit of momentum? SI unit. SI unit, what is the meaning of this SI? SI means standard unit. So what is the standard unit of momentum? You know, SI unit is actually the MKS unit. And what is MKS? You should know what is MKS. I don't know, I have already explained you or not. I don't remember it. M represent for meter, K for kilogram, and S for second. So if we represent the mass with the length with the meter and mass with the kilogram and time with the second, so it is called the MKS unit, and MKS unit is the standard unit. So what is this SI unit of momentum? The mass should be represented in kilogram and velocity should be represented with the meter per second. So we can say the SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. We can also write it like this: kilogram meter second is to power minus 1. Okay, these are the same things. So this is a momentum. And what is about the CGS unit? So CGS means C for centimeter is G for gram and S for seconds. So if we want to write the CGS unit of momentum, so we have to write the mass in gram and velocity with the centimeter per second. So we can say the CGS unit of momentum is gram centimeter is to power minus 1, or we can say per second. So these are the SI and the CGS unit of the momentum. Okay, this is all about the momentum. I think you should now you will understand what is the momentum here. So after momentum, you can easily understand what is the Newton's second law. So I am writing here the Newton's second law. This is a very important law of this chapter, second. Newton, actually all the three laws are really important. Newton's second law. We know that Newton's first law was the Newton's law of inertia, which I have explained to you in last lectures. Now this is the Newton's second law. And what is about the Newton's second law? According to Newton's second law, the rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum is if you are going to change the momentum of a body. Suppose a body having the mass m, and it is moving with the velocity of a small u, and suppose you apply some force over it. You know, when you apply some force over it, its velocity going to be changes. According to Newton's first law, we know that the body is moving with the its velocity don't changes if we don't apply any force over it. It means if we want to change the velocity of the body, we have to apply the force over it. So suppose a body of the mass m is moving with the velocity of u, and we apply some force that is equal to F over it. And by applying some force, it can be velocity can be increased or can be decreased, but I don't know what is increasing or whether it is increasing or decreasing. So I am telling you that it is velocity changes to v. By applying force, we know that velocity going to be changes. It can be increased, it can be decreased. Now its velocity changes to v after t seconds. Okay. Now you should understand one thing. If you want to change the velocity in large quantity, you have to apply more force over it. Is it clear? भाई अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट है, आप उसकी वेलोसिटी को ज़्यादा चेंज करना चाहते हो, सपोज इट्स वेलोसिटी इज 2 मीटर पर सेकेंड, having any mass, and you want to change the velocity of its body is to the 50 meter per second, or either you want to change the velocity to 10 meter per second, in which case you have to apply more force. Obviously in this case we have to apply more force over it. Why? Because we are changing its velocity in large quantity. So it means we have to apply more force if we want to change the velocity in larger quantity. It means what is the meaning of the velocity? Velocity is actually आप इसको रिप्रेजेंट करते हो, इट इज़ रिप्रेजेंटेड विद द मोमेंटम. वेलोसिटी कैन बी रिप्रेजेंटेड विद द मोमेंटम. I have told you that momentum is a product of the mass and the velocity. So actually the force is also depend on the mass, not only on the velocity. Na? If the mass is more, suppose you want to change the velocity of mass 1 kg, you have to apply some less force as compared to the you want to change the velocity of a mass 5 kg. It means the force is depend on the mass as well as on the velocity. How much you want to change the velocity of the body. Larger you want to change, larger force you have to apply. So it is very clear that this force is directly proportional to the momentum change in momentum. Is it clear? Change in momentum is directly proportional to the change in momentum. Larger you want to change the momentum. In this case, the momentum is not changing as much large as compared to this one. इधर वाले में तो इसकी मोमेंटम में कम चेंज करना पड़ रहा है, ज़्यादा चेंज करना पड़ रहा है. देखो 2 से स्पीड 50 लेके जानी है सेम टाइम में, और यहाँ पे 2 को स्पीड को 10 लेके जाना है सेम टाइम में. तो अब दोनों केसेस में आपको यहाँ पे वेलोसिटी ज़्यादा चेंज करनी है, तो ऑब्वियसली आपको यहाँ फोर्स ज़्यादा अप्लाई करना है, और वेलोसिटी ज़्यादा चेंज करने का मतलब मोमेंटम ज़्यादा चेंज करना है. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था अभी कि 1 kg के लिए कम फोर्स अप्लाई करोगे, और अगर आप कुछ की जगह 5 kg देते तो आपको बहुत ज़्यादा फोर्स अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. इट मीन्स इट डोंट ओनली डिपेंड ऑन द वेलोसिटी, इट ऑल्सो डिपेंड ऑन द मास. सो मास एंड वेलोसिटी इज एक्चुअली द मोमेंटम. So it means this force is actually depend on the momentum of the body. Larger the change in momentum, larger will be the force. If you want to change the less change in momentum, if you want to change the momentum in less quantity, you have to apply less force. It means force is directly proportional to the change of momentum. Is that clear? Now, how it is depend on the time? Now I'm giving another example. Suppose this is the same example I'm giving you. This is the mass of 1 kg object. This is the object of mass 1 kg and it is moving with the velocity of 2 meter per second. Now you want to change the velocity up to, I think, 50 meter per second. Okay, is it 50 meter per second? We can say the velocity we want to change the 50 meter per second. Okay, now the velocity is same. If you want to change this velocity in 2 seconds, you have to apply some force. Or if you want to change this velocity in 20 seconds, in which case you have to apply more force. You can imagine that if you want to change the velocity in less time, you have to apply more force. देखो समझ में आता है ना कि अगर आप कम टाइम में वेलोसिटी को चेंज करना चाहते हो तो आपको ज़्यादा फोर्स अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा ना, और अगर आप ज़्यादा टाइम में चाहते हो कि इसकी वेलोसिटी में चेंज आ जाए, आपके पास टाइम बहुत ज़्यादा वेलोसिटी चेंज करने के लिए, तो आपको कम फोर्स अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. साइकिल है, साइकिल आप चला रहे हो, साइकिल की स्पीड को आप एकदम से बढ़ाना चाहते हो, आप चाहते हो 2 सेकंड में आपकी स्पीड ये आ जाए. सपोज ये 1 kg मास नहीं है, ये साइकिल है आपकी, इट इज़ अ बाइसाइकिल, एंड यू वांट टू चेंज द वेलोसिटी इन 2 seconds, यू हैव टू अप्लाई मोर फोर्स, you have to pedaling very fast. Or if you want to change the velocity in 20 seconds, you have to apply less force as compared to this in this case. So it means the force is inversely proportional to the time. Larger will be the time, less force you have to apply, and less will be the time, you have to force more force. So इसको बोलते हैं इन्वर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल. एक चीज़ ज़्यादा है तो दूसरी चीज़ कम है, टाइम ज़्यादा है फोर्स कम है, या टाइम कम है तो फोर्स ज़्यादा है, और जब भी कभी ऐसा होता है उसको कहा जाता है इट इज़ इन्वर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल. इज़ इट वेरी क्लियर टू यू? इज़ इट क्लियर टू यू दैट इज फोर्स इज इन्वर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द टाइम? Larger the time, less force you have to apply, and less the time, you have to apply large force. So actually this is a Newton's second law. First you have to understand what is the meaning of this law, then I will tell you what is the law about it. I will tell you about the law. Newton's second law is this: the rate of change of momentum. What is the rate of? Rate of means per second, how much momentum you want to change in 1 second. एक्चुअली द टर्म कहीं भी आपके पास आता है द रेट ऑफ, कहीं भी आपके पास रेट ऑफ लिखा हुआ आता है, इट मीन्स द टाइम इज़ 1 second इन दिस केस. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू न्यूटन सेकेंड लॉ, द रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ मोमेंटम is directly proportional to the force supply. Is it clear to you? The change in momentum is how much you want to change the momentum of the body. Larger you want to change the momentum, larger force you have to apply, or less change in momentum, it means less force you have to apply. And the rate of means divided by the time. Larger the time, less force you have to apply, or less the time, you have to apply large force. So the rate of change of momentum, this is about the law. The rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the unbalanced force acting over it. Why is this unbalanced force? Because we know that balanced force do not change the velocity of a body. It will not change it will not give the acceleration to the body. So if you want to change the velocity, you have to apply unbalanced force over it. So the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force, directly proportional to the unbalanced force acting on the body, and the change in momentum takes place in the direction of the unbalanced force. It should be clear that अगर वेलोसिटी इधर, अगर आपकी वेलोसिटी में जो भी चेंज आ रहा है उसका डायरेक्शन वही होना चाहिए जो आपने फोर्स अप्लाई किया है उसका डायरेक्शन है, अपोजिट नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि दोनों ही वेक्टर क्वांटिटी है, द वेलोसिटी एज वेल एज द फोर्स. सो आफ्टर explaining this law, I'm going to write the law of Newton's second law. Actually, what is the Newton's second law? Now you should write here the rate of change of momentum, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the unbalanced force acting on it. If you can't understand what I'm writing here, you can listen properly what I'm telling you. There should be some problem in my writing, so if you're not able to understand what I'm writing here, you can sincerely listen what I'm telling you, which what is I'm going to tell you, I'm writing here the same thing. Okay, to the unbalanced force acting on the body, and the change in momentum takes place in the direction of the unbalanced force, You know one thing, if you understand some law, it becomes easy for you to learn the law. Since if you understand what I'm explained you about this law, if you properly understand what I explained you, then it is really easy for you to learn this law. It is very clear. The rate of change of momentum, the rate of means in per second, the change in momentum is going to be changes. The rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the unbalanced force acting over it. I explained you, it is directly proportional to the force on the body, and that change in momentum takes place in the direction of unbalanced force. This is an important line. You have to write that the change in momentum should be takes place in the direction of force. Okay, this is not about all the law. If the question is of 3 marks, you will get only 1 marks for writing only this law. Now you have to derive this law, you have to explain this law. Okay, suppose you can say let a body of mass m. Okay, this is not only the law, you have to write all the derivation with this law. Let the body of mass m, like this is the body of mass m, this is the body of mass m. Okay, I'm writing here, I'm again preparing a picture for you so that you can easily understand what I'm writing here. This is the body of mass m and it's moving with the velocity of small u, and after applying some force, that is F, after t seconds velocity changes to v. Its velocity changes to v. Initially it has the velocity of u, and after t second velocity changes to v by applying some force F. Let the acceleration produced in the body is a. You know the acceleration, the rate of change of velocity is the acceleration. Let the acceleration produced in the body is a. So you have to write all these terms before writing the expression of the law. Let a body of mass m is moving with the velocity of u. Okay, and after applying force F, you know, you have to apply some force to change the velocity. After applying some force, F, its velocity changes to V, its velocity changes to V in t seconds, in t time, and acceleration produced in the body, acceleration produced in body is F, is A. Is it clear to you that you have to write all the meaning of the symbols which you are using in the expression? So this is all about the meaning of the expression, which are symbols which you are using in the derivation. Okay, now the initial momentum of the body. Initial momentum of body is equal to m into u. Momentum is equal to mass multiplied with the velocity. And the final momentum of the body is equal to m into v. Okay, v is the final velocity. So the change in momentum, how much momentum is going to be changes here? That is mv minus mu. This is the change in momentum. Okay, so we can say according to Newton's second law, according to Newton's second law, F is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum, means mv minus mu upon t. Rate of means divided by t. Okay, now m is common in both the terms, so we can take the common here, v minus u upon t. F is directly proportional to the, you know what is the value of v minus u upon t? You have learned in the first chapter, that is v minus u upon t is the acceleration, is equal to m into a. But within the bracket you have to write what is, why you represent v minus u upon t by a. So you can say a is equal to v minus u upon t. We know that the value of acceleration is equal to v minus u upon t. So we have to write some constant if we want to remove this direct proportional sign. So here is a constant k. We are using the constant k. So F is equal to k into m into a. In SI unit, the value of k is 1. Suppose the force is equal to 1 Newton, mass is equal to 1 kg, and acceleration is equal to 1 meter per second square. So we can say k should be equal to 1. So I am writing here in SI unit, the k is equal to 1. If k is equal to 1, so we can say F is equal to m into a. Okay, this is all the Newton's second law. If someone asks you what is the Newton's second law, so you have to write all this law with this derivation. You have to write all the page. That is, this is law and this is derivation. So this is the Newton's second law. F is equal to m into a. And what is the F here? F is the force. Now I am going to explain you about the F. F is equal to force. We know that F is equal to m into a. So it means the force is depend on the mass as well as the acceleration. What will happen if the acceleration is equal to 0? Acceleration is equal to 0 means F should be equal to 0. Mass cannot be 0, but acceleration can be 0. If acceleration will be 0, it means F is equal to 0. It means if the velocity of a body is not going to be changed, acceleration 0 means the velocity is not going to be changed. Velocity अगर u है तो u ही रहने वाली है, तभी तो आप कहते हो acceleration 0 है. Acceleration 0 means the velocity is not changes. So if velocity is not going to be changes, it means acceleration is 0. Or if acceleration is 0 means F is equal to 0. So it is very clear that if velocity is not going to be changes, you don't have to apply some force over it. This is a Newton first law. आपको याद है Newton first law? अगर आप वेलोसिटी में चेंज करना चाहते हो तो आपको फोर्स अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा। अगर आप रोकना चाहते हो ऑब्जेक्ट को तो भी फोर्स अप्लाई करोगे, चल रहा है तो भी फोर्स अप्लाई करोगे। आप कहते हो ना कि आप किसी की वेलोसिटी में चेंज नहीं कर सकते जब तक आप एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई नहीं करते हो। तो एक्चुअली न्यूटन सेकेंड लॉ इज समवट इज linked with the Newton first law. So F is equal to 0 if acceleration is 0. It means if velocity is not changes of a body, we don't have to apply some force over it. And what is the SI unit of force? At a SI unit of force, what is it SI unit? According to MKS unit, we know that we should represent the mass with the kg and acceleration with the meter per second square. So we can say the SI unit of force is equal to kilogram meter per second square, or we represent it by this by the unit Newton. Okay, on the name of the scientist, Newton. So this is the SI unit of the force. We represent it by using the symbol capital N. This is the symbol of Newton. So the SI unit of force is Newton. Newton is what? Newton is kilogram meter per second square. And how can you define the 1 Newton? F is equal to m into a. Suppose a body having the mass 1 kg. Okay, suppose. And we produce the acceleration in the body is 1 meter per second square. Then what will be the value of F? It will be 1 into 1, that is equal to 1 Newton. 1 Newton force means if a body having the mass 1 kg and we produce an acceleration in the body is 1 meter per second square, it means the force applied on the body is 1 Newton. So we can write the define of 1 Newton. Write the definition of 1 Newton. 1 Newton. 1 Newton. Force is said to be 1 Newton if it produce 1 meter per second square acceleration in a body of mass 1 kg. Is it clear? The body having the mass 1 kg and you produce the acceleration 1 meter per second square in the body, it means the force which you applied on the body is 1 Newton. This is the definition of 1 Newton. Okay, now the CGS unit. CGS unit means we represent the length in centimeter, mass in gram, and time in seconds. So in CGS unit, the unit of force is gram centimeter per second square, or we can say it is equal to dyne, dyne, dyne. It is equal to dyne. Like kilogram meter per second square is equal to Newton. So gram centimeter per second square is represented by the dyne. And what is the relation between the dyne and the Newton? 1 Newton means 1 kilogram multiply with the 1 meter per second square. Now kilogram, we have to change the kilogram in gram. So it is 1000 gram multiply with the 1 meter into is equal to 100 centimeter per second square. So we can say 10 to the power 5 gram centimeter per second square or dyne. So this is the relation between the 1 Newton and the CGS unit of force, that is time. This is about the force. There are some numerical which are based on the Newton's second law. So I will explain to you the numericals based on this law in second lecture. Okay, till then, bye.